Hey guys, what's up? So earlier on this week, I put in some extra hours at work so I could gap it early today and go check out the Rusty Nail. The Rusty Nail's a local reused building supplies place. They have a fair bit of copper. I've had a look before. I'm going to go back and see what they've got. I still have a few things that I need to buy for my build, and I want to go and have a look for those. I also just want to go and see if I get some inspiration. The place we're going to today is really awesome. There's a insane amount of stuff there. So if you see something that you think is worth me going back to get, shout out, let me know in the comments, and I'll totally think about it. Hey guys, so here we are at the Rusty Nail. This place is absolutely awesome. I love bringing my daughter here. There's so much stuff to check out. The main mission today though is to go and find the copper, and I want to have a look at, I'm building my still on 2-inch, so I want to see what they have. Just kind of looking for some inspiration, and the other thing I really need to look at is valves. I'm trying to find a decent stainless steel needle valve for the Boka still, so we'll go have a look and see what we can rustle up. Had a really good hunt around. I've found taps, brass needle valves, more taps, stainless bore valves, more taps, but no stainless needle valves, which kind of sucks. But surely, out of all these taps and bore valves and valves, there's something that I can use to control water flow for either the coil or the little Liebergs. So let me know what you think would be best. The bore valves seem to be an obvious go-to for me, but then again, I guess I could use something more like a traditional sink tap if I'm going to be kind of plumbing it in near where I'm setting the still up anyway, right? On the plus side, there is a bunch of copper here. Check it out, it's insane. So the lack of a needle valve and all of that copper that I've seen over there has kind of got me wondering if maybe I should just put the Boka on the back burner for now and have a think about switching over to a pot still design. I know a bunch of you have been telling me to do this for a long time, and I've been putting it off. I kind of wanted to go through with the Boka. I think if I do it in a way that's modular, then that way I can still build the Boka and build a pot still as well, get the pot still up and running quickly, and then when I get a valve and want to do some more work on the Boka, I can get that running too. So I think what I'm going to do is go over there and have another look at the 2-inch copper. I saw some of the right angle bends over there. Find something suitable. Perhaps I can use a couple of those to create a pot head with. I've had a look at what's there, and I don't know if the 2-inch bends are worth it. The right angles look a little bit beat up. What I'm thinking is instead I could jump online and get some ferrule fittings, put those together with tri-clamps, and pretty much have a pot head ready to go. I also just realized that if I do that, I could buy a fitting like this, put it on top, and perhaps even go CCVM instead of Boka, which is a little bit sad because I don't want to give up on my Boka, but hey, I wouldn't need a valve, right? What I have grabbed, now that I'm thinking about a pot still, is something to make a Lieberg condenser out of, because I don't trust those little stainless steel ones I've got to work on a pot still. So I have got about 2 meters of 1-inch copper and about 2 meters of 3/4 inch copper, and I figure that's going to be perfect for making a Liebherg out of. So now that I'm thinking about switching from the Boka to the pot still, it's probably worth having a talk about what's the difference between the two and maybe why you would pick one versus the other. So the idea is that basically a pot still is probably the easiest still to build and is also the easiest still to run, which obviously is a huge advantage when you're new and learning. And it's also the best tool to use if you're creating something like whiskey, where you want to carry flavors over from the mash into the final distillate. It's also probably the best tool to use if you're wanting to run a stripping run. The only thing that a pot still lacks in, arguably, is the ability to create really neutral spirits. I know you can do it, but it's pretty hard to argue that a pot still could be better at creating a neutral spirit than pretty much any type of reflux still. The Boka, on the other hand, is kind of, I guess, the entry-level reflux, or definitely the entry-level liquid management still. Its advantage, I guess, is a little bit of flexibility. You can run it in pot still mode if you want. Obviously, it's not as good as a pot still in pot still mode, but you can also control the amount of reflux that you're having up and down through the column by adjusting the valve on the takeoff. This is going to allow you to get really close to that 95% if you want to, but also be able to create flavorful spirits. The advantage for a new distiller is that it's a relatively easy build, but it does cost a little bit when you have to think about buying the valve too, which is the problem I'm having. The other advantage with the pot still is if I build a pot still, I could probably add on one of those teas that I was talking about earlier and turn the whole thing into a relatively easy CCVM still. Let me know what you think of that, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are on CCVM versus Boka. I've kind of heard good things about it. I would like to explore that further. Okay, cool, so I was rummaging around in another pile of 2-inch copper that I found, and I managed to find this. It also just happens to be the shortest piece of 2-inch that I can find in the whole place as well. So I'm gonna buy it, mostly for the, it's about 1.8 meter length stop, and use it for that. And if I can somehow utilize this right angle bend to make a pot still, I will. It is not overly pretty, but it doesn't look horrible either. I also found this, which seems to be in pretty good nick, and it's pretty cheap. I thought perhaps if I step down from the 2-inch down to that size at the top of the column, rather than doing it when I'm heading back down towards the Liebherg, perhaps I could use these somehow to make a pot head out of. I'll have a think about it. It was cheap and I don't have anything like it, so I figured I'd just grab it. Let me know if there's anything you think I can use that for. Be really interested to hear what your thoughts are. I'm not going to go and actually do anything until I've got all the awesome feedback from you guys. All in all, I think this was a really successful trip. I mean, I didn't really find what I came here looking for, but honestly, now I think I'm more excited about the idea of kind of rolling with it and changing the plans up, being flexible, and sort of going with what I have available to me. Just to sum up, this is what I ended up buying. 1.8 meters of 1-inch copper, 2 meters of 1/2-inch copper, 1.8 meters of 2-inch copper with that 90-degree bend attached to it, and I also got that 1-inch sink S-bend. But other than that, guys, thanks a bunch for watching and hanging out again. If you like this video and you like what I'm doing, have a think about subscribing. It'd be awesome to have you along. Also, make sure you hit that like button down below. It really helps the channel out. And I will catch you next time.